Big Max, how are you?
I'm good, my son. How are you?
Right, people asking for you, Max, are saying, "Where's Big Max? What's happening? When's he out again on a big Ron show? What's the latest, Max?"
Can't tell you.
Go on then, tell me.
No, I can't tell you.
Oh, you can't tell me. Oh, what?
No,
Didn't you try and get a fight with somebody recently and you got knocked back by a matchmaker? Now is that bollocks?
no, that's bollocks. No, no. They wanted it's too little money that
Oh,
for what
well,
you're.
so you parked up, Max. You're avoided, are you?
There's two ways of looking at it. There's other opportunities happening, and well, which I'll say out loud. I'll put my hand up for Johnny Fisher in a Monte Carlo, and Dallas says, "Well, you need a few more wins than that. What against the lad without a heartbeat? Okay, then. So they avoided that one, didn't they?
So Tom Plankerwood Dallas, the man who had Big Truck Price pushing his BMW when his battery went flat. And Price
Yeah.
is like, "Put it in second gear, Tom, put it in second gear." And he went, "What do
Yeah.
you mean it's to just push clutch in?" He went, "It's an auto, it's individual." So Tom Plankerwood Dallas has knocked you back, has he, to go on a big Eddie show?
Yeah, they'd just rather that Mustave or whatever his name, no, that whatever that Ugandan lad is, 9-1-1. It's just
Well, that's not
yeah.
good, Max, is it? That's not good, is it? I bet you're gutted, aren't you?
Well, I wanted to give him a go because I just don't think Fisher's that good. And plus, I was very told his dad every time his dad texts me, I'll do another TikTok video about his dad and Johnny Fisher again. Because being in Slow Tony's company, obviously, if he starts icing more people, you know why? He's on the special berries, isn't he?
Yeah, well, Elmer
Bad
Fudd might come
reputation.
back and start putting people on slab. Touch wood he done, but you don't know, do you?
He might kill us in our sleeps due to all the special berries he's taking.
Yeah, he might end up doing a big John Fury. We're going to kill us all.
God.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Moses the Toma, Max. Still not got a dance partner. Are you game for him?
Look, I know my limitations. Thanks, but no thanks, Russ.
You
No, no.
sound like the lazy Rhino. He said that about Atoma. Now Eddie's saying, "Oh, we could put Rhino in with." This is what Eddie said today, and I quote: "Moses Atoma, right? They could put him in with him. Deontay Wilder, Dylan White, or the Johnny Fisher rematch." And the Rhino says he'll take them all. But a few weeks ago, the Rhino said, "He's my friend. I don't want to fight Elmer again." So what do you make of it all, Max?
It's just, you know what? I've been watching some of your content, the last, 3 days, and that Paul Smiggers, old Jim Royal.
Yeah.
He's right for what he says, because it's gimmicks, isn't it? And Johnny Fisher is a gimmick. Let's have it right. Um, so that third fight's going to materialize at some point. You know it's going to
Got a
happen.
signed contract, haven't they?
Yeah. So it's going to happen at some point. Um, yeah. So look, we'll see really on that. Johnny Fisher, he's got a ceiling, hasn't he? So what they do is they rebuild him. He's a bit of a broken. He's together with masking tape, isn't he? So they rebuild him very minimally. No curveballs. Put someone where you can knock a hen over. That sort of material. That next couple, then wait. I think they're going to wait the big Rhino, White Rhino, to get beaten up one more time. Put him in with someone tasty, get him beaten up a bit more than the last one, then put him in with Fisher. Telling you,
Would Rhino even care anyway?
not if he's buying, not if he's like, getting all sorts of, money thrown at him. What would he got for that Makadoff show? What do you reckon he'd get for that?
I don't know, but I hope he got paid well because the geezer were a big puncher, wasn't he?
That's going to give him some damage, I think. I mean, I just, he was there for the taking. I felt Makadoff. It was frustrating to watch. I think the lad you had on the other day, Liam, he said the same thing. I thought they could. I reckon they said Jamie Moore and Nigel Travis. Trying to say, let's do the same game plan that we did for Johnny Fisher. That would sort it. And they probably didn't realise, you know, how hard he really punched. And when you're getting punched like that, I've had myself aspiring. It wears you out. It wears your nervous system out.
Mm.
So you can't throw back, especially when you're taking that much of punishment. So I reckon round 4 or 5, since he's had that punishment, he couldn't get in close. And when he did get in close, he tried it on that 9th round and he was done. He had that one opportunity and he couldn't do it. You know what I mean?
Do you think it were all set up for Rhino? Hometown crowd, Steve Gray taking 2 points off the Russian. They changed it from 10 rounds to 12 rounds, didn't they, at last minute? Do you think it were all on a plate for Rhino, like the Lenroy Thomas fight?
Yeah, yes, definitely. Because obviously, yeah, the 2 rounds. I've sent you that thing what Eddie Hearn said about
Yeah.
8 years ago. He said that, oh well, Dave had it. Dave had it all his own way, and he's going around in pubs doing this. You can't do that if you're a boxer, mingling with crowds and stuff. You got to have your rest and that. And I got criticised on my TikTok for this, but he's doing the same things that he did 8 years ago.
Yeah,
So
but he's
what's
told to
now?
sell the fight, isn't he, by Matchroom? So he's in a no-win situation, David, isn't he, really?
Yeah, true. But the thing is, at the end of the day, is you got to give yourself the best opportunity. And he's in that position that, like you keep saying, there's kids that, even at Chris Medley's gym, let's say someone like Quinn Ahmed. Yeah, we both know him. He's an awesome fighter. And he probably will not get some of the sort of opportunities that Dave gets, but yet he's twice a fighter in skill set. You know what I'm saying? So that's what gives me the sour grapes about it all.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to throw something at you now about boxing here, right?
Yeah.
We're going to talk some proper boxing here. If Rhino, right, gets in next with somebody like Wilder, right, and gets touched up, who's going to take the blame? Are they going to say he's got a concrete head, he could take a punch, his bone density's as strong as Joe Joyce's and stronger than Hulk Hogan's? How many more times are we going to see him knocked about? And do these promoters even care? I mean, we know boxing's about levels, but Rhino's area English level, isn't it? Does he beat David Adelaide?
No,
Well, Eddie's talking Adelaide today.
no. David Adelaide's the problem is with David Adelaide, his only certain fighters will beat him. So Wardley, he threw every punch at him at Adelaide, and Adelaide sort of ran out of ideas. But it's very rare when you get to that. Now, I think Adelaide with his power, and he's got that bit where he can throw a punch where it's come from nowhere, and the ones that you don't know is coming, they're the ones that put you down. And I think he's got the ability to put Rhino down, David Adelaide.
Okay.
So I think if we're looking at anyone, I'd like to see him against someone like Dakaris, Alan. Yeah, that's about where we're at really with him.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Max, if you were offered the Rhino fight on a Matchroom show, would you take it? Yes or no? Hercules Max, would you take it?
Yeah, why not?
You would fight the Rhino. Is that a challenge, Matt? Are you putting yourself in the mix, Max, for the Rhino?
No, but the thing is that I'll just get Dennis to go through it and say, look, or yourself, and go through it. Go through that, Russ. You know what I mean? So, but the thing is that I'd rather not, because I just know what Rhino's done in my opinion, to Dennis. Dennis has put him up there on these shows, small hall shows, and he's got no accolades for it. So, for example, Johnny Fisher on his last fight, he was in talks with Johnny Fisher and David. David Allen didn't have his last fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Max, listen to me. You're missing the point. If you ended up on a Matchroom show, you'd give a slice of your cake to Big Ron. In fact, Big Ron would already take it and he'd give you a slice. So you know what I mean? Because Rhino's not going to come on a Big Ron show, is he? Fight Academy with Big
No,
Ron
no.
and Trumpy. He's with Matchroom.
Yeah.
So if you got a chance to go on a Matchroom show in an 8-rounder, because Rhino's saying he'll do an 8-rounder in January. You could do an 8-rounder with Rhino on Matchroom in January, Max. Get yourself a few quid. Big Ron get a few quid. You'll be happy at that. And you never know. It's a 2-horse race, Max.
Yeah, why not? You know, so I'm fighting in December anyway, so I'll be fit.
Yeah, well,
So
listen, you knock that guy out in December, and then you fight Rhino in January, don't you? That's what you do. It's
why
called
not?
Max.
Yeah, why not?
You're calling the Rhino out then?
No, let's not call the Rhino out. Rhino's not worth my time.
Oh, go on, Max.
He's not. No, he's not, because I know what he is. He's a bit of a dick.
Oh,
Yeah.
intense beef, Max.
Well, no, it's not. No. It's just like people are going to get on my case here, but he goes on about Mr. Humble, but where's Dennis Accolades? So look, right. Let's have this right. When Dennis took him back for the second time, and you said this, right, and this is what gets my goat a little bit. He shouldn't be boxing. He shouldn't be doing this, and he shouldn't be that. And Dennis took him back for the second time, propped him up, got him popular again, got him up there, got him the Fraser Clark fight, and got him back in the mix, and he gets no credit for it. I don't see Dave Allen like mentioning him on these on IFL, or thanks to Dennis Hobson and getting me back up there. It doesn't mention him. Where's the credit? And that's what really gets my go.
Yeah.
Give credit where credit's due.
Okay.
So no, he's not worth my time. So yeah.
Okay, then. Super Bean, right, aka Kenneth Williams from the Carry On films, read something out at Ricky Hatton's funeral, an oology or whatever they call it, which I thought were good. But he never gave Big Ron credit for breaking Vegas with Ricky Hatton, did he?
No, I mean, look, Adam Smith did a good speech at their funeral. Let's have it. I mean,
Yeah,
it's the last.
he did well.
Yeah, and I'm not going to be. Let's be honest about it. It was it's a day for Ricky, and I think they need to grieve now. They need to be left alone. I'll still see stuff up on my feed about it. Now, what gets me is that there's people like Terry Stone, who's in the Rise of Foot Soldier, probably met him once. Why is he going? Why is people like him going? There's plenty of people I could probably name 30 names, 40 names who've probably met him once. And they just turn it into like a sort of a day out. And I'm thinking, this is someone's funeral here. And people misconstrued what the day is all about. It's about remembering someone and like the times you had with that person. But except they make it out that, let's have a day out and see. And because there's so many other celebs there, they think, let's get selfies and stuff like that. It really, people, it's a day out, and I didn't like that. So let's have it right. It shouldn't be happening, and people need to be pulled up on it. If I'm honest, Russ.
Yeah.
If I see him, I'll pull him up on it. Telling you.
Pulev's going to fight Gassiov on the 12th of December in Dubai for WBA regular belt. Pulev's approaching his 45th birthday. Can he beat Gassiov? Yes or no?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Well, there's money behind it, isn't it, out there? So why not? What they do is, I reckon Bricktop's behind that.
Well, we'll see, won't we? Right, small all show. Sam Jones and Juggiers Oliver on TalkSport are talking about the small all show being on fire at the moment. So I'm going to throw you a small all show here. This is Mark Bateson's show, 21st of November, right? We've got Joe Hayden on there, 20-0 with 2 knockouts. He's had 88 rounds as a pro. He's still ranked 253 in the world after 20 fights, yeah? Fabio Wardley, 20 fights, undefeated, 19-0, 1 draw. He's had 72 rounds. He's had no amateur experience. Joe Hayden's had amateur experience. Is Joe Hayden padding his record out here and pulling wool over fans' eyes, or is he going to fight somebody with a heartbeat? I know people are going to say he beat Lewis Booth, but he was dug up, wasn't he? What do you think of that?
Well, but we know who's the manager of him, the White Rhino, or shall we say, the Eddie Eagle? What you say if you that's his new name. Um, with Joe Hayden, it's a trick. Well, it's not tricky. Does he do tickets? I don't think he does.
No.
So there's two ways to look at this. He doesn't do tickets. So I think what they're going to do is going to pad it out as best they can, what you're saying. And I reckon they're just going to take a away fight for a massive money in America all of a sudden. Because he's in a saturated division, isn't he?
Okay.
So, and when the White Rhino's behind him, obviously he's going to get some leverage, isn't he? So that's where I see that going.
Okay. Well, let me just read some of these out on this show here. We've got 26 fighters in 13 fights, 12 outside the top 1,000, 4 debuts, 2 TBAs, right. And the 2 wins Joe Hayden's got are against men with losing records. That's Mark Bateson's show. These are some rankings on here. 1,194, 1,102, 1,396, 1,080, 1,172, 770, 253 Joe Hayden, 320, a 69. Then you've got 2 debuts, 2 more debuts underneath. So that's the home lot. Then you've got Lewis Booth again, 584, then a TBA, then a 1070, then a 61 Becky Ferguson, a woman. And there's not many in that division, actually. Then there's a TBA, then a 1235, a 1627, a 906, a 1218, a 1490, a 1099.
Who's that 14 and 90 out of
Conor
interest?
Meanwell. Then we've got
Yeah, Conor Mean, all right.
1,099. Then we've got a guy ranked 923 and a guy ranked 1713. It's the lowest ranked average for a BoxRec show in the history of BoxRec for any show with more than 10 fights on. Now, Spencer Oliver, aka Jug Ears, and Scam Jones are saying Small All is on fire and it's bigger and better than ever. How can that be, and why are they misleading the boxing public?
Well, first of all, obviously the stuff I do with Big Rom, I see how the logistics work, and I know you're against the ticket selling, etc.
Yeah, well, it's
fighters should be
illegal,
paid.
isn't it? So I believe Dennis should promote shows so fighters are not running around selling tickets. And me and
Yeah, okay.
always locked on top of that, as you know.
Yeah. So, but the thing is that it's a law to himself. So, not putting defence on Mark Bateson. Before I go to the other question about the media, is that when you've got a bell ringer that costs £500, and then when you're putting on more than 7 fights, you need 2 bell ringers. So that's £1,000 for just 2 officials, just a bell ringer. So you see you can imagine what the judges cost, then the referees cost. Then you need 2 sets of ambulances. All of a sudden it runs away. It's £5,000 on officials. You see what I'm saying? So, and that's coming off small. That's why you need your ticket sellers. So yeah, look, small hall. No, it's not on fire. It's in a bit of a pit at the minute because it's hard to make ends meet, and especially in the current climate of the cost of living. People haven't got much money at the minute.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, you've seen it yourself down where you live, how bad it can be.
Yeah.
So, and you look at the state of the NHS, it's all over at the minute. And when they're saying stuff like that, misleading fans, we haven't got many stars coming through the system at the minute. What stars we got coming up? Well, we can get behind in the boxing at the minute. Who? You name me. Can you name me any?
Name who's coming through a small hall. Well, I see a lot of padded records. I mean, I'd like to see some of these guys like he's got a padded record, Joe Hayden, and so has Dempsey Whale. So they're both undefeated. Why don't they get at it, pair of them? Why don't they fight? That'll do tickets at Barnsley or Sheffield. Why not?
That passed off for an English, surely that.
Or an area belt. Pair of them haven't got a belt yet. Only belt they've got are snake belts holding up the jeans. So why don't they get at it instead of just fighting guys who they know they're going to beat? What are they learning in these fights? People keep saying small halls booming, but it ain't. It isn't booming. No. It's lies, mate. You know why it's not booming? Because the Board of Control are charging too much. They put all prices up, but doctors, inspectors, referees, judges, and bellmen, they're all getting fortunes. And they
Yeah,
all want,
yeah.
you've got to have pie and peas on and all that, as you know, because you're putting shows on with Big Ron. It's a logistical nightmare, isn't it, really?
Yeah, yeah, it is. Then it's not only that. Is let's say you want to bring in someone abroad because they got a certain record and it's a saturated division. Let's say like a women's or someone at a higher weight like Fly. All of a sudden you've got to pay like £500 for a foreign boxer fee. So really, it's it's just taking chunks out of you in areas, and it's no good. And this is where the talent comes through small hall, as you know. Likes of Clinton, likes of all the best of them, they came through from York Hall and from the places like Dennis and Mark Bateson. They all come through those sort of avenues, and that's how they get out. Now, Mark Bateson, yeah, it's a poorly ranked show, but he's got to make ends meet. He's got to make it logistically work, and still put on a show. So you can't. So he's not really to blame. I think the board is to blame for putting the money up so much high because let's be honest, it's costly. It's not just that. You're putting on hotels. You're doing a whole lot, Russ.
Okay. Well, I'll throw other side at coin here. The argument from some people I've spoke to tonight, personal friends of mine, are saying, yeah, well, Joe Hayden's only had 88 rounds. He's learning on job. Fabio Wardley's only had 72 rounds. Look where he is.
Yeah, but there's a difference to that because out of the both divisions, who's watched more?
Heavyweights.
There we go. So that's one thing. Joe Hayden is going to always be okay because he's got bloody Eddie the Eagle, old Slurdoff behind him. So, I mean, Fabio Ward is exciting to watch. He's marketable, exciting to watch. He's a banger, all these stuff. Joe Hayden, let's be honest, I wouldn't rush out of bed to watch him in my back garden if he was.
Well,
Or if
okay.
I mean?
If he were any good, Jamie Moore would have took him off at Rhino by now, wouldn't he?
There we go.
Okay, the media. Is all this heading in the wrong direction? Talksport and a lot of the other outlets are the problem. I could not believe, Russell, the deceit they are displaying in the name of journalism. Do you think that's a problem? They're all going into bat for the mates. They all know what's going on. They're all supposed to be boxing people. Even Johnny Horsecock, aka Banana Man, he's becoming a bit of an issue on his YouTube channel now that his Sky deal's running down. What do you think? What do you think, Max, about the media? Are they the big problem here? I mean, am I even making a dent in this? 8 year doing this, or am I pissing in an hurricane because of the media?
It's the game of two halves with you, Russ. You are making a dent because they watch you. What you're going to say?
Yeah.
Because people think, oh, well, you're a bit like Donald Trump, aren't you? Really,
Yeah.
when you get up, you think, oh, how am I going to piss off people today? That's what I think you think. Then if you look at it, is that they're thinking, oh, what information does he know? So that's why they look at your channel. And regarding the guys at Talksport and the others, because they want access, we've seen it when we put it on that Michael down in Nottingham, how people are and how they loop around and stuff like that. Everyone's pal, and he's my pal, and
What, and Porky's banned from all matchroom shows and presses?
yeah, wow. I mean, look, just because my affiliation with you, Russ, I've been started on shows before.
You've been what?
Oh, even that match for me, even Dean White came up to me that time and said, "Oh, where's your mate, man, Porky?" I said, "Well, he's not here," and he tried putting it on me. I said, "Well, if you want to go out, we can go outside if you want." And he's like, "No, no, 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 no need for that. I just want to know where Russ is." I said, "Well, or Porky is." I said, "Well, look."
Where's Dean White now? Is that even his name? Hey, is that the geezer who'll say 400 people on a jumbo jet, 30,000 feet up in the sky? Hey, Wesley Snipes.
But saying that though, you know what? He was all right to me after that, and he's been all right ever since. I've been at Commonwealth dinners. He's been very polite to me, and to be fair, I can't fault him actually. I don't know if you stick it on him, he's all right. I don't know, but he's been all right with me, so I can't really fault him. But just because of what you say now, I think people get misconstrued you a little bit, and they say, oh, he's this, he's that, and Froch myself, well, he's a bit out there. But all you're saying is things
What
that
they
have
say,
happened.
I'm saying what they say to the mates in pub, or I'm saying it in front of a camera.
Yeah, exactly. And all you're saying is things that have what's happened, things that has happened in front of our eyes, and we're not just glazing over it or brushing it under the carpet. So,
Yeah.
like, you see what I'm saying? And what Eddie Hearn said, all roads leads to undisputed. Well, that's what you said, Eddie Hearn. You know what I mean? And then you changed the narrative to suit. And this is why I think it gets people's goes. They're like politicians in the boxing world. They're worse than politicians.
Okay.
Say one thing, do another. And and it's exactly what you say. And I can see why, working with Dennis and that, like I can see why you lose your shit. I can see why you do. Because, you have to, I get it, you have to play the game. I understand that. But it's, you've got to keep him happy in order to get this, or you can't ruffle the. I understand that. You have to do. But sometimes you can lose your patience with it. And I can understand why you did. Because it's just not real, is it, at times?
Max,
So,
to me,
yeah.
right. When I'm sat in Dennis's office, and you know this, somebody comes in, and I'm like looking around office, I'm thinking, why is he in this office, this guy here? And Dennis can't stand him. So after, I used to go at it with him, hammer and tong. And Dennis would go, yeah, I've got it up best for me fighters. I said, you didn't even like him yesterday. And now he's sat here having a cup of tea. Things like that bother me. It's two-facedness, and I can't cope with it out like that. I can't. And I know Dennis has had fighters and putting shows on. He's got to play the game, but if you don't get on with somebody, don't work with them is my motto. If I don't, I'm not going to have somebody here for a cup of tea if I can't stand them, whether it's going to put a few quid in my pocket or not. And Big Ron's not short of dough. So that used to get my goat. And the fact that he'd say, oh, stop kicking off, I've got something bubbling. You'll see, you'll see. And this bubbling stuff, it's just people chatting knackers, and it's like a big long chain. And there's always 2 or 3 links in the chain that break. And it usually affects the guy at the end, the promoter. And then I'm there saying, well, 7 days ago, Dennis, you said this. What's happening? And he go, oh, you're not going to believe what's happened. And it was the same old, repeat, until in the end, I used to go off like a bottle of pop. And it did my head in the end. But I hope Dennis is all right. And he's still hanging in there, and even though he keeps creating monsters, doesn't he?
Created you, didn't he?
He's what?
He created you, didn't he?
Oh, is that what he's telling me?
What, did he or did he not? Right, okay then, here's one for you. Whose idea was it to start up a YouTube for you?
My idea.
Yeah, but did he give you the suggestion?
Encourage me. No, Max, you're talking over me. You're missing the point. I started a YouTube channel because Dennis's fighters were doing 6 tickets, 12 tickets, 9 tickets, and nobody were at the show. So I said, well, I'll start a YouTube channel, Ron, and I'll go get a camera. He goes, get a camera and give me an invoice. I got a camera, give him invoice. He goes, what's that? What am I supposed to do with that? I goes, give me the dough. He goes, I'm not paying for that. I goes, well, what am I going to do with it then? He goes, you can use it for egg and spoon race for Reggie and Ruby at Sports Day. So I thought, right, I'll go on my own with a YouTube channel. And before I left Dennis, I did a couple of years on YouTube. Then I went on my own doing YouTube stuff. But I did get a good education off him, like you do, like you've got off Dennis. But I think Dennis is on his last legs now. Unless he's going to make a comeback, I just think his days are numbered, because boxing's gone down a different route, and Dennis has become like a Mick Hennessy type. They're old schoolers, aren't they? Bricktop didn't move with the times 10 years ago. He's now moved with the times. And I think Dennis is going to have to. But it waters down the sport, what we've got now. For example, we've got White Rhino headlining on a Matchroom show. We have one world champion in the UK from England, Nick Ball. So what's happened to boxing? That's all I'm saying. We've gone from 14 world champions to 1. But nobody wants to talk about it. Usyk's the daddy at heavyweight. Where's other world champions? Nick Ball? That it from UK, from England?
But this is what it is. It goes back to the point you're saying about small hall shows and what Spencer Oliver and Thingy Bob said about, small halls booming. Well, if that's the case and it was booming, we'd have more than one world champion, wouldn't we, in Britain?
Of course we would. Of course he would.
Yeah.
Is Fruity going to be putting any shows on it near future?
You know the answer to that one, don't you?
No, Fruity's a spent force in him now. Uh, Max, Chris Eubank and Ben. Chris Eubank's come out today, Junior, and he said that the contract's not signed. Do you think it's just knackers for the sake of chatting, knackers for column inches, and the fight will happen?
The one thing we can rely on, Chris Eubank Jr., he can sell a fight. He's good at it. Let's be honest. He's good at the modern times at it. I'm more inclined to believe him, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Because what has he told a lie about in the media?
He's been truthful, hasn't he? Or he's saying he's been truthful, hasn't he?
Well, we haven't caught him out. We haven't turned around and said, you know, this hasn't happened, and anything he said, the hydration course, he's followed through with and tried to do to the best of his ability and played the game. The other side, you know, they've lied all the way through. So who going to believe more on current form?
No, I don't believe any of them, but I believe.
No, but if you had a gun to your head, who are you going to more likely to believe?
Well, Eddie Hills or Eubank Jr. I believe Eubank Jr.
There we go then.
Okay. Daddy Fudd has managed to get a 6-figure deal with Frey Bentos to promote the pastry pies. What do you think to that?
It's just, he's like a Teletubby that's eating another Teletubby, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, he's a walking time bomb. And to be honest with you, look, I get it. You have to capitalise on your social media. You got to capitalise on what you got. I understand that. But, like, when's it in his family going to turn around? Or someone, like, dear to him and say, look, Dad or, you know, Uncle, look, you need to sort yourself out. Can we start chipping away at this weight and start getting himself healthier? Because what? I mean, I think he's 30-odd stone. I don't think he's in his 20s, personally.
Mm.
You know, I reckon he's knocking on about 34 stone, something like that. He's a big old lump.
I think he's that big. I think he's probably about 28, 29.
Nah, I reckon more than that. You got to think he's 6 foot. He's 6'2", 6'3". He's a big old lump.
Elmer Fudd's dad?
Yeah, he's about 6'2", 6'3". So he's got a big frame on him, and he's noticeably on him. When it's noticeably on me, right, sort of hide it ish, right, but you can see it noticeably on him. So I reckon he's over 30. Yeah. So, you know, so to be honest with you, I mean, look, it must be uncomfortable to be that way. And sleeping, I know when I've put on a bit of timber, sleeping isn't great. You know, you're snoring your face off. You know, I know people that need to be in like a mask, like a enhanced mask from the NHS because they keep stop breathing in their sleep. He'll be one of them. So he needs to sort it out because I think his lifespan is 6 years or less. And people can get on all that's harsh about it. That's the reality of it. Yeah, if you don't do something about it now, you won't be here a lot longer, let alone doing all this Chinese stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, and if his son's got any else about him, he'd say, right, Dad, let's get you, to knock 2 or 3 stone off you. And it'll be easy being that way to knock that off you. You know for yourself.
Yeah. Oh, cheers, mate. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's not a dig, but you know yourself.
Oh, yeah, I was as big as him, mate, but I was determined. What I mean, I don't think he's determined at all, is he?
Exactly. So.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. What next for Max?
What's next for Russ? When we're going to get you in the ring with Big Ron?
As soon as I get my hands, I've got 1 broken hand, other one's broken, and 4 tendons. So as soon as they're sorted, get Big Ron to get that money to RSPCA, and we'll get it on.
Wow. I mean, I know 2 or 3 people quite easily will go on an undercard with big names. Yeah. I'm not saying who, but I'll say it in private because I can't say on it. But I know 2 or 3 big names who will go on that undercard for you. And not only that, I think Big Ron will do you in 60 seconds.
Is that what you think, Max? Yeah?
I think Big Ron will do you in 60 seconds because I've seen him put on people and I've seen him, right, have a little spar with people. He can fight Big Ron. He can fight really well. for an old geezer. And I think within 60, he will decide when it's over.
Yeah.
Sorry, Russ.
Max,
Yeah,
you're gonna
sorry,
let me
mate.
get away with Max? You're gonna let me out floor here, Max? Right.
No, no.
Go to Adam Move. Right. Listen, Max, I'll say this to you. If Big Ron could do me in 60 seconds, what happened in Bulgaria when we got at it in that hotel lobby?
Right, right. I know the story that it's slightly changed for what you say.
All right. Well, how come I pinned him down like a rat and he bit me? He fucking bit me, mate.
Yeah, he bit you, yeah, but there's more to the story than that.
No, there ain't, Max. He bit me. He kept. I told him, don't ever jab me there in that stomach again in front of people. Then he went, yeah, 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 and he did it. So I took him down, mate. I took him down, put my knee on his neck. He went green. So there you go. Pop, pop, bang for Big Ron.
I don't think that happened, but we'll agree to disagree.
Well, why would we agree to disagree? I ended up with a carpet burn on my head. That were all.
Well, carpet, that's where he bit you,
No, he bit me
and
on my arm.
him
Max,
and Rami, go on.
Max, he bit me on my arm. That's where he bit me on my arm.
Oh, okay.
He didn't bite
Yeah.
me on my head. He bit me on my arm, mate, because I had him choked out nearly. I let him off, Max. I'm a peaceful guy, Max. But if Big Ron wants to get it on, £5 to RSPCA, and I'll turn it with my gloves and I'll smoke him. I'll get Chris Smedley in my corner, and I'll
You
do.
need more than Chris Medley, mate. Fucking
Hey,
hell.
hey.
You need more than Chris Medley. Fucking
What for
helping you.
Big Ron here? Big Ron.
Big Ron will put it over when he says it's over. Being
Max, you
serious.
know what it is with you? Every time he walks by you, he gives you a dig, and you're thinking, God, Big Ron's so powerful. He's such a big hero.
Do you know what? Do you know what? He does shadow box, but there was a mistake I did. So there was a show in Liverpool, and I thought, I'm going to get him in a minute. If he does that again, and he did it at breakfast, didn't he? And he was sat next to me on the breakfast table, so I pulled his chair up and pulled him over, and he nearly cracked his head on the table. So I thought, nah, I'm not. I'm just going to let him box me. I'm just going to let him jab me because that could have ended bad then. So that day since, I just let him do it. It don't hurt anyway. You know, it's only because you're funny.
And on that note, Max, I'm going to get off because we've got 1 minute left to wrap it up. So listen, thanks for coming on. We've had a bit of banter, and hopefully I'll see you next Friday. You and Big Ron.
Yeah, all right, mate.
All right,
mate. Take care of yourself, mate.
We'll have a good night. Cheers, mate. Bye.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
That were Max. Women love him. Men don't want to be him. I mean, who want to be Max? A big giant blob. Do you know what I mean? Max. Oh, Max. He's never had to come adversity in his life. Hey, a silver spoon boy. But he's loyal, and when I was dying in bed, Max used to come down and see me twice a week from Scarborough, bringing me build-up drinks. There were him and Scott Brunt, who really looked after me, and Big Richard Wilshire, who comes on channel. They're proper men's men. Loyalty is what I like. So they were there for me, them Scott, Max, and Richard. And that's about it, really. Big Ron came to see me as well. Big Ron looked after me as well when I was badly, so came to see me. But Big Ron, we're gonna have to get at it. We're gonna have to get this on Fight Zone, Big Ron. It be biggest fight you've ever put on Fight Zone since you've had Fight Zone, or is it Shite Zone? I'm not sure, but anyway, hopefully we'll meet up, and I'll see you next Friday, Big Ron, for my birthday bash. Okie dokie. Go on, peace out. Pop, pop, bang. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Bit of light-hearted entertainment there from Max. Were he calling Rhino out, or were he not calling Rhino out? He were getting tasty there. I mean, he's already put it on Dean White, a.k.a. Wesley Snipes, from Passenger 57. And I'm saying, are you putting it on Rhino, or are you not putting it on Rhino? Do you want to fight Rhino or not? Rhino's red hot at the moment, and Max, I don't know. Fucking hell, Max. Squeaky bum time. Like Arnie Slot at Liverpool, that seems they've had a couple of losses. Squeaky bum. Go on, peace out. I hope everybody's enjoyed this tonight. I should have had Big Sean on today, but he's coming on tomorrow. And Liam is, and I've got Terry Chappendama coming on tomorrow in a free parter. That's going to be awesome tomorrow. Terry Chappendama. All right. So keep watching your social medias from dinner time tomorrow. Pop, pop, bang! Porky's International YouTube's where it's